Hi, I'm Anousha Payne and I'm an artist based in Paris but from London, and I've been invited by Anlam to make a site-specific exhibition responding to the cistern, and the title of the exhibition is Murmurations.
Hi, I'm Anlam de Coster. I'm an independent curator and the artistic director of Zeyrek Çinili Hamam, and here we are in the first installment of our new artist residency program, to which I had the pleasure of inviting Anousha Payne. Anousha Payne draws a parallel between collective movements in nature and invisible traces and narratives that exist in ancient spaces, such as the newly unearthed Byzantine cistern of the Zeyrek Çinili Hamam, which predates the construction of the hammam itself, and it's filled with mysteries. And the objective of this artist residency program, where I have the privilege of inviting international artists to work in Istanbul, is to explore these hidden layers behind the visible in this evocative space.
So the exhibition title Murmurations came because I was reading about murmurations of birds, which is like a description of a flock of birds in flight. And I began thinking about how differently one person may interpret forms or shapes like a puddle or a cloud or a murmuration differently based on their previous experiences. And for me it felt very relevant to how I began reading the space, because I started to read the shapes and the markings on the walls of the cistern and building fictional characters based upon the images or the forms that I saw on the walls. And this is where this idea of having a series of women kind of dwelling within the space came from, as well as thinking about how a functioning hammam can be a space for women to commune or exist outside of the domestic. When I first returned to the cistern on my own, I began kind of materially reading the walls and started seeing these, what appeared to be like human figures or female figures on the walls. So I was thinking about this woman that represents the past, the present and the future, and she's looking and kind of pulled between multiple directions at once. And it was also quite, I think, a good symbol for the space itself, because there are so many layered histories, and the hammam has passed through many different owners, and this is also seen physically within the paintings and the walls and the frescoes upstairs in the hammam. And this idea of layering is something that has also been repeated within the painted forms. So there's these three figures that occur again and again. And here I'm kind of thinking about these figures kind of joining as one, but they're also depicted as swimming, as though they're still under the water that used to be stored within the cistern. And so with these masks that have been installed within the tunnels of the cistern, I was thinking about this kind of repetition of the three women, and these are kind of a combination of previous folk tales that I've worked with within my practice. This one specifically is about a woman turning into a tree, and the work is made from hammered brass, which is a method that was reflecting the materiality of hammered metal hammam bowls that are used within a functioning hammam. And there are some bronze casts here that are taken from, they're direct casts that are taken from a tea that is sold in a shop across the road from the hammam. And when I asked the shopkeeper what the purpose of the tea was, he told me it's to ward off the bad spirits. So there's kind of multiple symbols or meanings within the work, and the work will be animated with a voice that will take it in turns to sing and guide you through the show. it's also going to have the voice repeated back, which is part of the sound piece that I've made in collaboration with Sergi. He has been working with sound recordings of my voice, my mother's voice, and my sister's voice. And this one will be my mother singing the same expression back in Tamil. And essentially, this work is thinking about the mother tongue in opposition to the father tongue, which is kind of the voice of the patriarchy, the voice of capitalism, the voice of colonialism. So it's kind of, I guess, a kind of a female-led rejection of these ideologies. They're made using watercolor. So water is a very big part of the process because it's what allows the paint to move. So this kind of layering again is also a reference to the multiple layers of the paintings and the frescoes upstairs in the hammam.
This hammam has been commissioned by Barbarossa in the 16th century to Sinan the architect, the most famous architect of the Ottoman Empire. Together with the artists, we're very excited to go into the depths of the symbolism of this incredible cultural heritage building, the details of its architecture and its lost rituals through works of the artists. And it is also very interesting to see how contemporary artists connect, relate to this space and collaborate with the artisans who actually worked in the 13-year-long restoration of the hammam. It is an incredible journey to see the artists also explore these materials that have been used in Byzantine and Ottoman architecture and rituals for over centuries. These are all artisans that are kind of going out of business, and seeing their collaboration with the artists give birth to new artworks is very important for us.